Alright, time now is 8:06 a.m. in the morning on October 23rd. It's a Sunday and I have decided to go to church. Shouldn't have. I shouldn't have decided. For lunch, and I want to get that haircut. Except nobody's free to bring me to that haircut place today. So, I'll probably, go next week or next week if I want to get that haircut, which I really want to. In Hong Kong, I can get haircuts anytime. I go to the place and then boom. But now it's a bit complicated. And I want to get that haircut before the whole Asian World Film Festival thing happens. So hopefully next week, October 30th, and hopefully nothing happens on that day. That's it. I'm gonna go to the church and then nothing happens, basically, today. Nothing else will happen. And, yeah, just hopefully I have enough time to, do everything I need to. Write the personal insight questions, essays, edit my short film. I just have too much on my plate. I still remember how back in March and back in April, one of the reasons why I keep going to church is because I have nothing to do and I want to go somewhere. I know it's not anywhere all that crazy, but at least I'm meeting people, at least I'm not trapped in my apartment. But now I'm not living that life anymore. 6 months later, and guess what? So, yeah. Alright, time now is 3:47 p.m. I came back home and I took a shower. So let's just briefly go over what happened today, and then I'm in my pajamas right now, so I'm gonna go back to bed because I'm really freaking sleepy. I went to the church. I slept during sermon quite significantly. The cellist girl showed up, sat right beside me to my right. And she also slept multiple times, so she was doing this and I was also doing this at the same time. It was really funny. And then I went to the bakery again. So me, the older sibling, the pastor's son, the glasses girl, and her boyfriend, the glasses guy. Glasses girl as in the UCLA girl. We went to the bakery and so there's that. But at the end everyone's gone. I don't know who's gonna drive me back home. So at the end, it is decided that some of the people from the Young Adult Fellowship will take me to lunch. So me and 6 other people from the Young Adult Fellowship went to a restaurant in Koreatown. At first, in my heart, I was like, oh, I don't even know them that well. But you know what? Screw it. I can't say no at this point. So they nicely brought me to a restaurant, and it's actually real nice. It's a really local restaurant. The people there speak Korean. 99% of the customers there are Korean. And I had an amazing meal. I had an amazing meal with kimchi, 4 types of soup, roast pork chop, roast chicken, cold noodles, hot soup noodles, braised pork, everything, bibimbap. Aoba made an Instagram story this morning, reposting another Instagram story of another person where Aoba's in it being second AC on a feature film. This is the first time Aoba has worked on a feature film, which is very impressive. I've never worked on one. So Aoba's, like I have predicted many months ago, Aoba is a lot more resourceful than both me and Pepper combined, probably. And I asked Aoba, I DM'd her, you know what? I'm 20 years old. You know, if I want to ask someone something, I just ask them. So I asked Alba, I DM'd her, like, is this like an internship? And she's like, no, I was asked to do this job. So that's really impressive. I kind of want to do that too, you know? All right, time now is 9:09 p.m. Let's wrap it up. I just finished dinner. I cooked a lot of food today for dinner, but I cooked it all within like 25 minutes. It's a penne pasta with Alfredo sauce, salt and pepper, obviously, and then I had the chicken wings that I marinated yesterday with lemongrass, and then I had cabbage, shiitake mushroom fried together with garlic. That's it. Really nice. And I had a prepped meal, 2 more meals worth of penne, and 1 more meal worth of chicken wings. And that's pretty great. I try my best to not buy anything too cheap, afraid that it's going to break, but also not too expensive because I don't want to cost too much. I did a little research, and apparently a lot of people suggest Logitech. They make good mouses, so I'm like, fine. So I went to Logitech, mouses, whatever. So yeah, my mouse should be arriving tomorrow. Because here's the thing. One thing I've observed between people who like are in love with each other, are dating, is that they're always not mysterious with each other. Like when a dating couple interact, they don't act mysterious at all. In fact, they do the opposite. They reveal everything to the other person. So like Leo and Pink, they would just mess around, they would joke around, they would poke fun at each other. And if Leo had a piece of food stuck onto his lip, Pink would tell him or help him wipe it off. If Pink wears a silly, goofy shirt, Leo would tell her. There's nothing extraordinarily mysterious about this. Okay, now let's not use Leo and Pink. Let's use just couples I know in real life in general. They're all just very like normal to each other. And that's true. And I didn't just realize this, I know this. But I've never truly realized that what I'm looking for is mystery. But true love is not mysterious. So if I had to follow my own logic, if you have a crush on someone, like the same way I had one for Mary, she was mysterious. She was so mysterious and strange and powerful. It's like she has magical powers. Now, if I dated Mary, which is insane, just a thought so insane. If we're so revealing and open to each other, and if we're so normal towards each other, then shouldn't there be like a gap between the mystery and the normalness? It wouldn't just normally jump from mystery to normalness. There should be a gap. I spoke with Alba a little bit more on internships. I told Alba that I'm looking for internships. Alba told me to email the professors. I told her I emailed them already. And then she said, well, then ask them directly. And I said, I asked my Italian professor, almost said his real name. And Alba's like, well, that's sad. And then Alba told me that apparently we have to pay tuition in order to join an internship. Because I told Alba, okay, fine, I'm going to ask a counselor about this. And then Alba said, maybe you shouldn't even ask them. Because international students cannot have internships. Next thing is, right now in Hong Kong time, it is October 24th. And you know what day it is? It's Mary's birthday. So, shout out to Mary. Shout out to Mary, the mysterious girl. If I ever see her again in real life, which I doubt will happen, I probably will never see her again or talk to her again ever until the day I die. One thing I would like to say though is that this is the first time in years since I've had a crush on Mary that I didn't care much about her birthday. Like, even last year in 2021, a week before October 24th, I was already like, oh, Mary's birthday is gonna happen a week later. But this year, I'm just like, I care less. I think it's because I care about my own life a lot more now and the people around me. And I guess my head canon is that she's dead. And everyone, not, well, not dead, but she doesn't exist in the world that I exist in now, which is the world of Los Angeles. Alright, time now is 11:22 a.m. on October 24th, magic number 1024. I said it last night already, but I'll say it again. Shout out to Mary. At 8:15, Cindy woke me up. But she has come up with a new creative way of waking me up. And that is to call the paramedics. So at some point at 8:15, a couple of white people came to I don't know it because I didn't see it. I stayed on my bed the whole time. But for half an hour straight, a couple of paramedics came into the apartment. They were like, hello, hello, is anyone home? And at first I thought they're like, today I'm going to biology 3 class again, which is gonna suck ass. And that's it. And then afterwards I'll go to Nijio Market if I have time, because I need more food. Alright, this is what I got from Nijio Market. Time now is like 7:21. Salmon, mango jelly. I can't find luncheon meat, so I just got myself some sausages. Hopefully these taste nice. If not, I'm gonna throw up. Mango mochi ice cream, cherry coke, milk tea. That's it. Alright, time now is 9:16. Shit hair. Oh my god, my hair is amazing. Amazingly shit, that is. So let's talk about today. Let's wrap it up today. That didn't matter all that much. So I was scared that there would be a quiz and I would be late for it, and turns out there is a quiz, but the professor gave us a lot of time. So by the time I arrived, like, I went to the middle table. There's two white guys, the black girl and the Japanese American guy, and they were writing something on a piece of paper. They were writing their names, and then that Japanese American guy gave that paper to me, and I saw that they wrote their names. I'm like, okay, fine. And I just wrote my name on there. I just went with the flow. I have no idea what's going on. And then afterwards, everyone else, they were like focusing on writing something. Very quiet. Turns out they're doing a quiz. And then those other four people in my group, they went out and they took a quiz, like a paper, like a question paper, and then a Scantron. And so I did the same, and then I just finished the quiz within like 5 minutes. It was so freaking easy. It's 6 multiple choice questions. So I went back, I took a bus, but I didn't take the second bus back. Instead, I walked to Nijia Market, where I bought a few stuff. And then as I was leaving Nijia Market, I ran into the Japanese Korean girl. I was looking at her and I'm like, man, she looks really familiar. She looks like that Korean Japanese girl. Could it actually be her? And then I looked at her, and then she looked back, and she's like, oh, hey. And I'm like, hey. And then I just walked away. And then that's it. Walked back home. Weight gain. I always think, the first thing I think of whenever I see that I've lost weight is that I've lost weight because of stress. But that's not true. I think the biggest reason is simply because I don't eat enough. Because I need more than 2,200 calories per day now to maintain weight, and to gain probably 2,400. Alright, I'm using my new mouse now. My old mouse, which is over there, is basically freaking broken. It's almost unusable. Like using my old mouse, when I highlight things, it just skips. You know what? I'm just gonna demonstrate it. So again, new mouse. Sort of this small USB. I can't remove it. The heck? Okay, hold on. What? Okay, I tried really hard to pull this thing out of my laptop. Okay, but okay, let's do this. Well, that's great. More issues. Alright, so right now I'm using my HP mouse. That's probably been used for 35 years already. Now, if I try to hold it, okay, it's still, see? See what I just did? Okay, I'm trying to cross the bar to here. Okay. Okay, here. Okay, I'm trying to do this hold and grab, right? Grab and slide. Grab and slide. Okay, it seems to be working fine right now. But, oh, there we go. It doesn't work. Oh, okay, if I do circles. Oh, there we go. It's jumping. It's jumping. And sometimes I press. Okay, it's working. Okay, but sometimes it mistakes as a double press. It's not. Okay, it's better now for some reason. But like sometimes it mistakes as a double press. So if I'm closing one tab. Okay, it's fine now. I don't know why. Sometimes it doesn't even respond. Okay, but you get the idea. Okay, see it. Oh. Okay, it's working fine now. Okay, but anyways, this thing sucks. Now if I use this thing, okay, smooth. All right. But I just found out that my Duolingo test has been invalid. And I was a little worried. I thought, oh my god, did I do the test so poorly that it became invalid? No. It became invalid because apparently I had another window opened when I did the test. I had Google opened. So it thought that I cheated. Yeah. This is both a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is I can retake the test because I did pretty poorly in my opinion when I did the test. But the bad thing is I'm gonna have to waste more time doing the test, which is fine. It's not too late right now. So yeah. All right, time now is 11:06 a.m. on October 25th. Yeah, so, I went to bed at 3:05, but at 3:15, someone walked out of their room and switched off the aircon, or more like switched it to auto mode. Today I'm going to film history class, which is gonna be fun, and, I may redo the Duolingo English test tonight, if I have time, if I feel like it. And I have a midterms to hand in within 1 hour, so I'm going to immediately make myself some breakfast and then I will finish up the midterms and then I'm just gonna have lunch then. And that's all about it for today. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with my laptop, so I've been turning it on and off for like 8-9 times already. The Wi-Fi keeps on dying, and every time it dies, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, there's Wi-Fi now. That's great. And it's gonna die soon. Okay, it's gonna die. And then in about 2 to 3 minutes, it crashes. It fucking crashes, and the whole computer restarts. Alright, time now is 7:27 p.m. Thank God I don't have a crispy, I do have a crispy voice right now. My hair is fucked. So I came back home about an hour ago from film history class. Pretty nice class again. And then during the second break, after watching the film, I ran into Cliff and Justin the Malaysians. I also ran into Udav the Indian guy before I went into classroom at first, but then later on Udav showed up again. So yeah, everyone's connected. And then when I talked to Cliff and Justin, I asked Cliff, "What class are you in here for?" And he said editing. And I asked, "Is it DM Post 30 or is it DM Post 3?" Because I am going to go for DM Post 30 next semester, but some people are saying 3 is the one to go if you want to learn about editing. I have no idea which one is it, and they say it's 3. And then I said, "Well, I've heard somebody else say it's 30." And then Cliff was like, "Oh yeah, Leslie said it was 30." And then I'm like, "Leslie, a Chinese girl?" And he's like, "Yeah. Wait, you know her?" So yeah, again, we're all just connected. I don't feel like I'm one of the top people, but I'm close, you know? So yeah, that's that. I'll have to bring my laptop and then my camera to school tomorrow, which is a lot of stuff. I'm gonna bring a big jacket to wrap around my camera because I don't have a camera bag. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna bring my laptop there because I and Pepper are going to like study together um in the campus. Or if we figure out a quieter place, that would be nice too, but there literally is no quieter place around this area. Right, I remember it. That's what I'm gonna do later. I am going to clean up my bathroom because my shower is getting moldy again, and I don't like it. So I'm going to put some bleach in there. All right. Time now is 8:04 a.m. in the morning on October 27th. October 26th. Okay, this will be quick. Fuck. It's a Wednesday, so I'm going to film 32. Didn't have much of a dream, but I did have a pretty tragic dream where everybody I know is dying. I went back to the school or something. I went back to Hong Kong, and people like Pink, Leah, another person, Natalie, all of them were dealing with some sort of sickness or some sort of injury that's gonna kill them or something. And I was so sad, I almost cried. And there's also someone I love. I forgot who. It's not Mary, but they got a boyfriend. They got a new boyfriend, and it made me pretty upset and jealous. But I just, given that it is their like last month to live, I was like, you know what? If they're happy, I'm happy. That's it. All right. Time now is 8:54 p.m. On October 26th, and I just had a pretty fascinating day. I just had a pretty fascinating day. Yeah, let's talk about it. So first of all, I spent about 11 hours outside of my apartment today, just at the CMD, just at my college campus, which is insane. But today's a chill class. The last class was the Matrix. And today's class, we basically spent about 1.5 hours discussing how well we did last week. We watched the footage we took, and surprisingly, we did really well. Both surprisingly and unsurprisingly, we did really well. And then after a small break, um, we went back to the classroom to talk about our next 4 projects. So for our next 4 weeks, every single week we're gonna shoot a scene, non-stop. We don't have a pre-production class anymore. We're gonna have a shoot and then another shoot and then another shoot and then another shoot. Just 4 in a row. So we basically assigned roles, and then we had lunch break, and then we came back, and then at 3 p.m. we were let go. And that's pretty much it. And Pepper and Andy were also sitting together. Andy behind me, behind Pepper, and they were just talking, and I can't really hear them very well, and I don't intend to overhear them anyways. I don't intend to eavesdrop, but I heard them talking about like guys, and girl talk. Andrea would pull up an Instagram account of a guy, and then Pepper would pull up an Instagram account of a guy, and they would chat. Ooh, he's totally my type. So Pepper looked at one of the Instagrams, or I don't know if it's an Instagram or just a photo or whatever, but I heard her saying, wow, she's totally my type, and wow, like he's so cute, he's so cute. And obviously me hearing this as a close friend of Pepper's, close friend. Can I even consider us close friends? I guess we kind of can at this rate. Um, More on that later. But as a close friend of Pepper's, I was a little disheartened, so I looked away, and I was like, sort of moody. And also, like, again, with my acne and my hair being all trashy, I just don't feel good in general. I just don't look good and I don't feel good. But I'll mention that later. Now, during break, I don't want to always stick with Pepper because then I would seem like I just don't want to do that. But then I also want to stick with Pepper because now Pepper and Alba are like really close, and I feel like, man, their East Asians are over there, and I can talk with them better. So but yeah, I was with so the main gang basically is now Jonathan, the big Latino guy. There's the Aztec American girl. Um, Christian showed up. Eric showed up. Eric didn't show up in the first 1.5 hours because he was like sick. Um, and then I was with them for a little while, and then I quietly retreated and went to the table at the side, outside of the building, where Pepper, Alba, and Andrea were sitting. And I put down my bag and I whipped out my camera. And it's awesome. And I don't want to be a show off. I want to show off. That's the main reason why I brought my camera here. But also, the other reason is I want to know how it feels to hold the camera outside because I'm going to be doing a lot of that. So I like waved my camera around. It was awesome. And of course, I knew Pepper's going to do that, and Pepper did that. Pepper took my camera and took some photos of me because Pepper would take film photos of me as well as other people, not just me. But yeah, and then Alba also got interested, and Alba asked me how expensive it is, and I'm like, wow, it's 3,600, and Alba's like, wow. And Alba like played with the Zoom ring a little bit. We were so chill. The professor, our Italian professor, basically disappeared, and we basically had to sign up for roles. So the 4 people who are chosen to direct the next 4 scenes that we're going to shoot in this class, the 4 people chosen are David Swede, Yulia the Russian girl, Leia the Czechian girl, and Andrew the white guy. I mean, they're all white, but but Leia didn't show up today, so we ended up signing up roles for 3 shorts, 3 scenes. So I went with sound mixer with David's, unit production manager with Yulia's, and then with Andrew's editor. And these 3 choices are also meticulously chosen, aside from UPM. So sound mixer, that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while now because it's the most relaxed role. Pepper wanted to be first AC, and she told me, like, she would just tell me, like, hey, I want to be first AC. And then I'm like, just tell him, just raise your hand. If I can raise my hand, you can too. Given how like fucking socially anxious I was. Well, I'm not anymore. I'm a fucking phoenix. But Pepper never did until at some point David signed up to be first AC in Yulia's short. And Pepper's like, fuck. And then no, Pepper didn't know. Pepper raised her hand and asked to be first AC. Turns out David already has it. Pepper gets embarrassed and her whole face turns red. And throughout the whole day, after her face had turned red, her face remained red for the entire rest of the day. Okay, so a little bit later, Pepper and Andrea continued their, lovey-dovey guys discussion, which is fine. Girls do that all the time, I guess. And Pepper was even talking about someone. I heard she mentioning the word crush. I don't know if she's trying to say that guy has a crush on me or I have a crush on him. But, shit. And then she talks about how, yesterday something happened. And then today something happened. And when she said those things, it reminds you of how back in 2019 when I was like really infatuated with Mary, I would say things like, "Oh, yesterday I saw Mary in my classroom, and then today Mary walked past me, and then she looked at me, like shit." So again, I don't know. I don't know what's happening, or maybe like, "Oh, we're not hungry." I even if I was hungry, but even if I'm not, I have to go out and eat something. My calories, man, I need them calories. So at the end, we had like 40 minutes, and Christian's like, "You know what? Let's go somewhere." And Andre was like, "Oh, do we have time?" And Christian or Eric was like, "Oh yeah, we have time." And then we just went off, and then we went to Cafe Bluey, which is the same place we went to in the first week. And I got myself a Bluey burger, which is a beef, onion, tomato, lettuce burger with a side of a salad, and it slaps. It's good. I enjoy it. And again, there is a concern that it may come after a long time, and it sort of did. But I and Pepper, we just speed ran the whole fucking thing. So I and Pepper, we plan to do something very fascinating today. That's right, we're gonna study. So after class, it was 3 p.m., which is great, which means we have a lot of time. We went to study, but before that, I and Pepper and Alba ran into Theo outside in the building, outside of the building. And then Theo's like, "Hey, Enoch!" And he hugged me. He's super extroverted. He has a huge ego. He's very relaxed and charismatic. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so pretty. I love myself, blah, 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 blah." I don't hate Theo, but that's sort of his thing, you know? Um, and then Theo introduced me, Pepper Alba, to two of his classmates from Film 21. And Leslie, the Chinese girl, showed up out of nowhere for no reason at all. And I asked her, like, "What, are you here for class?" And she's like, "No, I'm just here." And then I'm like, "Just because?" And she's like, "Yeah, just because." Like, she didn't exactly say that. She's just like, "Oh, because it's CMD, you know, I have to be here." Like, I just want to be here. So, okay. And then, like, Leslie and I and Pepper, we speak English to each other, and Alba finds it weird. And Alba didn't know that there's a difference between Cantonese and Mandarin. And it's amazing. I don't hate Alba or anything, and it sort of makes sense. Like, why would a random Japanese girl know anything about Hong Kong culture or Chinese culture, anyways? But it's true. Like, I can tell the difference between hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And Alba doesn't seem too shocked that I know that either. Because I guess, again, maybe to her, it's just normal that outsiders just love Japanese culture, which is true. I when I was alone, oh yeah, I walked up the stairs and I saw Udav, the Indian guy, just like staring. Not even in a menacing way, just in a like, "Oh, I'm on the top of the world," just staring down on the second floor. Just people are getting more and more weird. The more I know people, the weirder people start getting. Like Alba, like even when I and Alba and Pepper and like the three other people, including Theo, six of us were sort of standing there. Um, Alba mentioned that she's going to dye her hair again. It hasn't been 3 weeks since she had dyed her hair, and she's dyeing her hair again because she constantly wants color change because she likes it. And the purpose of our study together isn't even like Duolingo. I mean, it is Duolingo, but we didn't even talk about Duolingo all that much in the beginning, anyway. So we talked about. She showed me the last scene of the short film she made, and it's just a guy and a girl squatting and smoking on the streets, which is so Hong Kong and so cliche and so Mancheng, you know. But it's fine, you know. It's not terrible. And then I showed my short film, and she's like, "Yeah, it's not bad. It sounds like shit, but it's not bad." And there were some moments in my short film, like when the main character fused his face into the statue, or when like we have the stacking shots with the old man, and then we have the scene where the main character looks back and it's Hong Kong. Like Pepper, like visually gave a look, which is really cool. That's what I wanted, man. To shock people, to surprise people. That worked really well. And then Pepper showed me Jorge's short film, which is actually not bad. It's pretty well edited, it's really crisp. But Pepper said she likes mine more. Just that. Yeah, Connor swung by and he's like, "Oh, what are you two doing?" And then Duolingo test. What is that real? Like, do you guys have to actually do that? And then he just walked away. And then it's just me and Pepper. We continued our conversation. So I told Pepper to do a practice Duolingo test, and she actually did it, and it was not very great. Like it really shows that she's not good in English. Plus, she's really stressed when I'm watching her, cause like, oh, that's grammatically wrong. Oh, and I was just pointing out the mistakes, and I didn't want to pressure her too much. I and Pepper talked about many things. It just sort of strayed off, because like we were talking about, we did Duolingo test, and then we ended up talking about like how awesome Cantonese is, because Pepper just swears in Cantonese a lot, and she's like, man, swearing in English is nowhere near as fun as swearing in Cantonese, which is true. And swearing in English is already like very freaking good, but Cantonese swearing is like top notch. Like you cannot compare. And then Pepper showed 15 something, a song she wrote when she was 15, sort of the lyrics. And she's like, "Oh, it's so embarrassing, but like, don't judge me." And then I read it, and it's not that bad. Maybe it's because my Chinese is bad, and I can't really criticize other people's Chinese, but honestly, it's not bad. But then another time, she had a heart attack, because apparently she had this weird illness where there's another hole or like another tube in her heart. So sometimes, for some reason, blood goes through that tube, and she just gets messed up. She feels really dizzy, and she has a heart attack. And it has happened multiple times throughout her life. And it happens anytime, like in a class, on the streets, just anytime. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting fact. And then you know, I almost joked around, because for multiple times today I told Pepper, because I want to get personal with Pepper. That's something I've been wanting to do for months now. I told Pepper, like, the more you know about me, the more you're gonna think I'm insane. But then honestly, at some few points, I think Pepper's even weirder than me, and that's good. I want that to be the case. I don't want to be the weird one. I want to be the normal one. I want to be weirded out. I want to be surprised. And then she asked me, well, if you haven't joined any extracurricular activities back in secondary school, then what do you even write about? And then I told her, oh, it's so much has happened. It's so like rich. You have no idea. But yeah, Pepper has so many friends back in secondary school, and Pepper became the vice president of a student union, and he's gonna write that for PIQ question 1, which is leadership, which I'm not gonna write. But when I told Pepper about how, like, for a very long period of time in my life, when I, like, especially forms 4 and 5, when I didn't have any friends, people just walk past me and I feel invisible. And Pepper's like, oh, yeah, I understand that too. Like when my student union was chosen, all the people at the other student union who were originally my friends sort of ignore me, and I'm like, but how about your student union? And she's like, oh, it's full of my friends too. So Pepper really has a lot of friends, and Pepper really cannot relate to me all that much, but maybe to a certain degree. I also told Pepper I'm gonna watch a movie, because I kind of want to watch a movie with her, but that's a long shot. She'll probably say no, and she said no because the movie's on Friday. So this Friday I'll go watch Tar in Century City. But Pepper's busy. Pepper's got class on that day. And again, Pepper's not going to the Halloween party because Pepper's also very busy. So yeah, this year I'm not gonna go to the Halloween party. If Pepper's not going, I'm not going. And that's okay, because I have nothing to cosplay. I look like shit, and I have nothing to cosplay. I and Pepper, we talked about how so much shit has happened. And Pepper's like, oh yeah, the last 2 months feel like it's been 6 months. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, 2022 for me so far has been like 6 years long, and then 2020 to 2021 is like 2 weeks long. And Pepper's like, yeah, yeah. We talked really well. Like, there's a huge difference between us, but we just chat really well, you know? And I feel like I revealed a part of myself to her that I haven't revealed like truly to her, and that is like my dark side, you know, or more like just the side of me who's like edgy. Um, I told her about how like I'm such an angry person during Phone 4 and 5. All right, time now is 9:48 a.m. in the morning on October 27th. Oh, why is my phone so bright? I don't know what happened. I'm waking up early today because I have to go to the Club Row, which is the fourth club fair, as far as I know, that's organized by the college, and I have to go again. So, yeah, and this time it's gonna be Halloween themed, and Thomas hates that. Um, yeah, so this basically means I don't have time to do push-ups and sit-ups. Um, but last night Pepper WhatsApped me voluntarily asking me, um, will I apply to Boston University? I won't, because I already have 7 schools to apply to. Boston University is just too much. But yeah, it's surprising because usually after one long day with Pepper, one long day with a person, you wouldn't want to talk to them again. You want to, give yourself a break. But Pepper's not giving herself a break.
Online or here? Over online.
No, I definitely
Or
have
a
to,
tournament. A tournament.
I like that one. Yeah.
Oh, I love that one.
All right, time now is 3:05. Let me be quick. Let's just talk about what happened today. Yeah, pretty interesting, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's super interesting, but yeah. So yeah, I was like, I left the apartment at around 10:15. And I thought a lot of people would dress up. Leslie, the Chinese girl, DM'd me on Instagram saying, "Oh wow, a lot of people dressed up. Somebody dressed up as Buzz Lightyear." Turns out only about 5% of people dressed up, and it's nothing that crazy. It's just, some makeup, maybe. Again, Buzz Lightyear. Theo's the pirate again. This is the third or the fourth time. I think the third time he's dressed up as a pirate for a campus event. And that's pretty much it. Not a lot of people dressed up. So I'm glad I didn't dress up. And it's literally the same thing as Club Awareness Day. We set up a booth almost at the exact same position. And yeah, just the same thing. I just stood around. It was boring. I chatted with Leslie. So my speculations was right. So I thought it's weird that a Chinese person would have an English name. And I asked Leslie if her name comes from like Leslie Zheng. And she's like, yeah. And then she fist bumped me because I'm one of the few people who figured that out. But wait until Thomas gets here. Thomas is like the least sociable person here. Like as much as he tries to be talkative and everything, like he just doesn't have that easygoing, fluffy personality. Yeah. So I spoke to her a little bit. And then there's this Malaysian photographer. Nice music, Cindy. Right off the bat, I ran into Tyler, who's in my Film 2 class, who's also a photographer for the newspapers. And he's like, hey, how's you doing? And then a little bit later, a black girl from my Film 2 class also showed up. But it's different from the other black girl whom I've talked to in the ice cream meetup. It's another black girl. The Buzz Lightyear, turns out it's Antoine, the Lebanese guy. He's super extroverted. So he's, Kat showed up and Kat returned my black water bottle that I've been missing for about 3 weeks now. And Aoba showed up a little bit, and I spoke to Aoba a little bit. So earlier this morning, Alba made an Instagram story saying that the feature film she worked on needs a PA. Can I join? But the thing is, it's Sunday 8:30 a.m. to 7 frickin' p.m. Holy fuck. Wow. I don't know. I don't know if I'm, but it's a great opportunity. And also, I've been thinking about the dance thing that Leslie, Alba, and Pepper are filming. Maybe it's for a reason that they only look for girls to film it. I'll talk to Pepper about it. Maybe Pepper has already told Alba about it. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And then I met a lot of people. Like sometimes people would randomly show up, and I'm like, oh, I know you from somewhere. Oh, I know you from somewhere. And Thomas would be like, I don't know who they are, and that's fucking amazing. I am better than Thomas in terms of socializing. I'm great. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Um, who's that? I already kind of forgot, but there was one dude, and I was like, oh, I know you from somewhere, or and I'm nice. So the Malaysian photographer, she was like, "Oh, you and Thomas, let's take a photo, for the newspaper." And I'm like, "Sure." And then Thomas was like, "Oh, I hate photos." So we posed a little bit, and Thomas just walked off. He's like, "Oh, I give up. I hate photos." And Thomas asked Mateusz, the Polish guy, to stand in for him, and Mateusz was like, "Oh, sure." And then after the photo, we even spoke with the photographer for a little while. So I showed a conversation I had with Jax from Biology 3, who's, really feminine, and I said he's gay. I thought he might be gay. I speculated that he's gay. And she's like, I don't know who he is. Wait, hold on. Is he, like, very gay? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I know him. See, they all know each other. We all know each other somehow. And Leslie's like, oh, let's go to eat Korean food. And I know what restaurant she's talking about. It's like right across the campus, like across the street. So I'm like, yeah, sure. At first I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go home and cook. But then, you know what, screw it. And then Thomas like, oh, can I tag along? And or Leslie asked Thomas, and Thomas like, sure, which is shocking because I thought Thomas wouldn't like to, well, not that shocking, but like, okay, interesting. So yeah, me, Leslie, and Thomas went to that same restaurant again, and I ordered a chicken ramen, and it's kind of spicy. But yeah, it's a good meal. And I want to go out and eat more, because more calories. So I and Leslie and Thomas, we went to the Korean restaurant. Thomas only ordered chicken dumplings. Thomas just reminds me of how I order food back in secondary school, like after school. I would just order a little bit of something, just a tiny thing, just because I don't want to spend too much money. But now I'm more confident, And Leslie ordered a spicy pork bibimbap, and that's it. And it was really spicy, and I ran out of water. And Leslie was like, "Oh, do you want some of my water?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine." And then afterwards, and I sat beside Leslie, and then Thomas is the opposite, and I was the second one to order, and Leslie sat down already, and I was like thinking, where should I sit? And Leslie saw that I'm deciding, and she's laughing, and I ended up sitting beside Leslie because I thought, ain't no way Thomas is the kind of person who would want to sit beside a girl, Let me do it. Oh, and also I spoke to Alba a little bit on Instagram. I asked her some more questions about whether I should sign up to be a PA on this feature film. And Alba's not super encouraging about it, which is concerning, but also it's good that Alba's being honest. She ain't Californian. She ain't the Californian type, so don't expect her to go, oh, just go for it. It's totally fine. Yay. No, she's giving her honest opinion. It's tiring, but it's fine. They're really nice people. It's 9:01 p.m. I'm in my street clothes because I'm cooking and eating dinner. Just finished the HKOS Zoom meeting with Pepper and the founder of HKOS. I should now refer to her as Miss K. So, yeah, it's quite amazing. It's quite reassuring. So I joined the Zoom meeting, and I thought we were just gonna have our, cameras turned off, but and I wanted to go early, so I was like, like it's 8:28, maybe I'll join. So I joined, and it turns out both Pepper and Miss K were already there. And then I joined, and Miss K's like, "Wow, everyone's like really on time." And everyone like turned on their face and turned on their mics the whole time. You can clearly tell that both I and Pepper are legit excited about this. We're both like smiling and we're like talking and stuff, and she's excited. Like Miss K is like genuinely faithful in us. And Miss K mentioned that, oh, yeah, the whole point of HKOS is to bring Hong Kong culture back on the map. Bro, that's literally my life goal. Of course I'm working for HKOS now. Even if it means no money, I'll work. Bro, this is fucking awesome. That's the whole reason I'm living right now, bro. Come on. Time now is 12:02 after midnight. I'm in a bit of an awkward situation, a weird situation here. So again, follow up to Aoba's Instagram story about the feature film. I wanted to tell Pepper this, thinking that maybe Pepper doesn't know this, or maybe Pepper knows, but just want to tell her that I want to do it. So I told Pepper that, hey, remember Aoba's Instagram story? She's like, yeah. And I said, oh, well, I asked Aoba and then the director on Instagram if I could be the be a PA on their set. And I told Pepper, yeah, but she hadn't responded to me, the director. And Pepper's like, oh, really? Because she responded to me. What? So Pepper's also like in on this as well. Fuck. This is war. I feel like both me and Pepper also like vibe on the same wavelength, but at the same time it's also like we're just aggressively looking for film opportunities. All right, time now is 10:32 a.m. in the morning on October 28th. Yeah. I think partially one of the reasons why I didn't really have a good sleep is because I'm stressed. Because the director still had not responded to me, the director of the feature film. I don't fucking know why. Am I just being unlucky? I think I'm just unlucky. Because, yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. Like, Pepper, maybe it's a first come, first serve thing. Like, maybe Pepper went asking her for help first, because right now today is a Friday. There are still 2 whole days. There are still 2 whole ass days that the director can respond to me. I'm gonna ask again. I'm not gonna ask now. I don't want to be too clingy. But at some point, I'll give myself a deadline. You know what? If by tonight she doesn't respond, then I'll ask again by tonight. Like, I trust that Pepper's gonna do fine, but I want to be there, it's my first feature film. I don't want to feel like a loser. Pepper's worked on her first feature film. Aoba's worked on her first feature film, and I hadn't because I'm such a fucking idiot. Come on. I'm kind of angry, actually. Man, this life is so intense. I mean, even Pepper said it herself. Like, I like this new life. It's really busy. Things keep happening, but it's all really exhausting. That's true. It's so fucking exhausting. I mean, secondary school is also exhausting for me because I'm just overwhelmed by mountains of homework and exams and interpersonal relationships. But this is next level because if I am not busy, something's wrong. I have to be busy. Alright, it's 12:11. I'm just growing very impatient. This is worse than the fucking paranoia with Pepper, like earlier this month, or like Was it earlier this month or was it September? I forgot. It was a while ago, but it's even worse because when I was paranoid that Pepper found out about my vlog and found out about herself, yeah, it got resolved in one day, you know. But this is like, it lingers on. Oh my god, this is so fucking bad. If she ignores me 3 times, because she didn't even read my text. If she read my text and just ignored me willingly, then okay, it's a fucking no. I got denied. I got my ass denied. But she didn't even read it, because if she had, it would say seen. Quick update here, time now is 1:49. I didn't do anything in the last 2 hours. I'm just fucking stressed. News, she followed me back. The director followed me back on Instagram. And even so, she still hadn't seen my message. She still hadn't seen it. Maybe she saw the notification. Maybe that's how she followed me back. So at least she notices that I exist. That's a good start. Alright, time now is 7 p.m. exactly. I just came back home from watching a movie and I wanted to not change my clothes and just immediately have dinner, except I also don't want to. And then of course the burning question is, has the director responded to me? No, she hadn't. I already sent my 3rd text message. That was before she followed me, so maybe I have to send a 4th message to her just so that she'll finally notice. But I don't want to come off clingy. Alright, so time now is 9:36. I just finished dinner, which is cabbage, mushroom, garlic fried with 4 chicken wings and then 316 mils of rice. That's pretty much it. I spoke to Aoba about this and Aoba has responded. Aoba told me that, apparently the director already found one person and it's a dude, and that's that. And Aoba said she may not even know who this person is. But that's weird because Pepper also got it. Pepper also got the job. And so I told Aoba about Pepper, and Aoba's like, really? That's strange. I don't really know what's going on then. And I still have a tiny bit of hope. So yesterday, the director responded to Pepper at around like 12 at night. And I know she's working on a feature film right now and she's very busy. So maybe she's, one of those super duper busy people who doesn't really check Instagram until she gets off work. And maybe by the time she gets off, it's around 12 midnight. So maybe then she'll be like, okay, let's finally respond to this Enoch person. Okay, I just thought of a pretty good idea. What if I mention Pepper? I just need to find an excuse to remind her. Again, this is a very extreme case. Very extreme. Ladies and gentlemen, the prophecy has come true. It's 11:28 p.m. and she has responded. I'm happy I waited and I didn't send a 4th text. Oh, thank God. I was so prepared to lose this. Like, I'm so prepared that she's never going to respond to me.
And then What's Spinning, One Take Reviews, Scissors, I don't know, and Culture DTC TV gave it 7. Nassim the Dream gave it a 6, and Cast 9A gave it an 8. These are some names.